Hey guys, I hope that you're doing well by the time you get to watch this amazing video. Once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, it's just Maureen, back here with another interesting video. If you're new here, please remember to subscribe, like the video, please share the video as much as you can, and also do not forget to tap that notification button so that you're not left behind anytime I get to upload a new video. And to my amazing returning subscriber, I want to say asante sana for your amazing support. So guys, today let's talk about marriages between the age bracket of 18 to 24 years. So my sister and I have been talking about this topic for quite some time. We used to have this debate whereby we concluded that marriages between the ages of 18 to 24 years, if they work, and we even did some small research, some small findings, whereby we found out that indeed, like a huge number of marriages between these ages have not worked. So how did we come about with that conclusion? For instance, we collected a small data. We tried to look around from friends, people we know, family. We were trying to find out among those people if the ones who got married at an early age of that said age bracket, if the marriages really worked. And we found out like almost none of them worked out. They were either divorced, separated, some of them ended up being single parents, unfortunately. So I think that our research was really, really accurate. So we decided to conclude that 80% of these marriages have not worked at all, and 20% has managed to work out. We are still doing the research of the 20%. We want to find out why actually this 20% managed, and the majority, which is 80%, didn't make it to those marriages. If you're within the 20% and you're watching this video, please feel free to come over and let's have a discussion. Let us learn from you. What are the tricks? What are the things that you did to make your marriage work? It will be interesting also. Probably there's something that these other people, the 80% bracket, is not doing, probably that you did. So let us have that discussion and it will be really amazing. And guys, when I'm talking to you about this age group, I'm talking about the generation Gen Z and millennial. I'm not talking about our moms and the old generation. So that's what I'm talking about. And guys, if you think that probably it's not right what I'm saying, you can sit down and also try that kind of research. When you got out of high school, try to find out if you know that particular friend. When we finished school, some people went to get married, people got a lot. So you try and sit down and find out if so and so made it out, or so and so. And let's give it like a 10-year, let's say after 10 years maximum as the period. During my research, guys, I managed to come out with a small finding. So what I did is I divided two groups. These age brackets between 18 to 24, I divided them into two groups. So one group is at a privileged point, so these age brackets who are privileged, and the other group of between the ages of 18 to 24 who are less privileged. So in Kenya, we all know that the legal age starts from the age of 18 years and above. So at a privileged point, I tried to ask myself, what should a young lady or a young man should be doing between this age bracket? And I noticed that by 18 years old, you're definitely probably done with high school. Some people are done with high school at an early age, maybe 17, but it depends. But you're just working out with 18. Let's work with 18, the legal age. So by 18 years old, you should be done with high school, and then you are ready to join a college, or rather a university. So university, when you go for your degree, it probably takes 4 years, and when you're going for your diploma, it will take between 2 years, 2 to 2.5 years. So in this case, by 24, let's make 24 as the 23 as the like highest number. Like you should be done probably with your degree or diploma. So by 23, you're out of college, you're out of university. Let's just say that. So after 24, or probably from 24 years, you're now like done with your education. I mean, education still goes on. There's never an end to education. You'll probably be chasing your master's, your PhD, and all of this stuff. But you're just saying, like, for you to get a decent life, at least you should go to college or university so that you get your papers right, for you to start your life in a good manner. So by 24, you're probably then out there looking for a job. You know, your parents have probably done they have done their best to take you to school, and so now it's up to you to start your own life and stop depending on them. So I believe that around this time, you should be building yourself. You know, you get your job, you know. So basically between this age, between 18 to 24, you are building your life, you're building yourself, you're discovering yourself, you are chasing after your goals, you are exploring yourself, you know, you're getting to test life, you're getting to meet a lot of friends, you get to network. You're like, at 25, basically by 25, basically your life is beginning. You know, you go out there, date until you can't date anyone, like, because it's a process for it's a process before you get to think about marriage. You get to meet people, different people, how they think, you know, what's their take in life. You know, you get to experience a lot before you make some wrong decisions about your life. So at this point, you are, you know, at 20, by 25, your life has just begun. You know, it has just begun. There's a lot of ridiculous amount of pressure, you know, to get yourself together, finding yourself. There's just a lot. And at this point, you are also living as you're learning, you're trying, you're failing, and you're succeeding as well. So it is a time of your life when you lay the foundation for your life, for your success in the future. So now we are going to the next group. Remember, I divided this group into two: the privileged, at a privileged point, and less privileged. So now let's discuss about less privileged, the group, the age bracket of still 18 to 24, but the less privileged. You know, these are students who struggle a lot. They struggle to go to school. You know, there was so much hardships, you know, during their process of acquiring education, living. They're coming from humble backgrounds, and so we want to also give them a chance and study about them. Like, we are basically trying to find out why you want to rush for marriage, while you should be focusing on yourself and doing your things right before you run for marriages. And you're trying to find out why these marriages between the ages of 18 to 24 don't work out. So these are some of the things that will lead us to the conclusion of why these marriages between those age bracket don't work. So by 18 to 24, if you are a less privileged person, you probably maybe struggled throughout and you managed to finish high school. By 18 years old, you should be done with high school. And so because you're not yet like in a good position to go to join a college or a university, so you ought to stay at home as you get to look for options Some of us, like me, I will tell you my story. When I was done with high school, I was lucky enough to get a job in an office as a personal assistant, and it worked out well for me. Even though I wasn't earning that much, I wasn't earning much that I could say that I can like do something much more, but it was better than nothing. So I planned to work and maybe save some money for my college, you know. I mean, it didn't work because there was so much, like, I had a lot in my plate, you know. Life was a bit tough, you know, having come from a family of several kids, like 6 of us, you know. And my mom then was only alone. We had lost our dad, so like life was tough, you know. So we have to pave way for other siblings to also manage to go through high school and stuff. So at this point, I'm trying to save money to go to college, but it's still not working out, because every time I get an extra coin, there is this problem, and when I solve this problem, another problem comes. When I solve the next, another one comes. So it was almost next to impossible to manage to save for my to further my education. So what happens, I come to Nairobi. Then I get to, fortunately enough, work in a hotel for a relative, you know, whom I really love so much. So I worked for her for a while, and during that time I managed to land another job in an office. And so that place, that in that office where I landed that job, is how, when I started saving up for my college education. And I actually managed to do it. Like, I went through so much, but you know, I knew what I wanted. I was really focused. I knew that this is what I want. I wanted to build myself first. I wanted to put myself first before I put anything else, or I put anyone else. I was not thinking about marriage. I was not thinking about, you know, a lot of other things, you know, distractions. I was really focusing to finishing my education, because I knew this paper would bring me something better as I grow and grow and grow even big. So I managed to go to school. So I used to work, and I used to go for evening classes. So it was really tough, you know what I mean. If you're someone who is working at the same time you're studying, you know where I'm coming from. It's really tough. It's not easy, where you have to juggle in between studies and work. So it was tough. And I used to do, my classes were evening classes, strictly on weekdays. I mean, right now there are so many options. There are also even weekend classes. So for people who are not able to attend classes on weekdays, we have weekend classes, which works really, really good for some people. So that is my story. Coming from like a less privileged, or from some humble background, like, that's what I'm trying to say. So at this time, you trying to find a job to be able to cater for your, you know, for your needs, to be able to cater for your education, you know, saving up some small amount of money, which goes a long way, and you know, starting up something, doing something for yourself. What I'm trying to say, at this point, I really don't feel like a young man or a young lady should be out there thinking of getting married. See, when you're coming from a less privileged, you're already coming from like problems, you're already coming from, you know, straining, and now you want to think about marriage at that time, and it's just going to cause you a lot more problems. It's going to add so much frustrations to your life. So like, that time your mind should be occupied with a lot of, you know, ambitions, chasing dreams. You know, at that time you want to build yourself, because you trying to figure out where you're coming from. You don't want to go back to that kind of situation. You don't want to go back to that kind of struggle. So at this point, you need to focus on yourself. Like, marriage should be the last thing that you think. So now, I'm going to summarize to you why these marriages did not work at all. The age bracket of 18 to 24 years. Because of number one, psychological reason. Let me tell you, like, there's when you're a teenager, you still lack maturity. There's lack of maturity during teenage. People at this age are still immature to make the most important decisions about marriage. So I don't understand how you are ready to handle marriage at that young age. They are unable to handle responsibilities. You are very young at that time. You're not even able to handle responsibilities that follows with marriage. It takes a long time until either of you will realize that you're not even ready for the roles that you have assumed yourselves. Being a husband at a young age, like, it feels so burdensome. It's so burdening, like, a lot. It brings a lot of burden to your head. You can't even focus for yourself. And also the wife gets super bored of playing the wife roles. It really becomes bored. So it's all of these things just comes because of, like, infatuations, or how do I call it, like, fairy tales. Marriage takes a lot of things. Like, marriage is another whole work, and it needs to be treated with so much, like, care. It really has a lot. It really takes a lot. It's not easy. By the time you are connected to a person for life, you need to be with that person for life, for better, for worse. Life keep changing. A lot of things keep changing. Just because you meet this particular man, or a man meets this particular lady at a certain point, probably at that point you are all loved up. There's a lot of lovey-dovey, and you're just, like, at that point focusing on what's happening at that point. You don't even know, like, in the future things might turn out to be different. Today we are well, tomorrow we are sick. Are you able to take care of a sick person, for example? I used to admire a lot of things for my parents. I really admired that kind of love. And if we can be able to practice the same, we can really go far with the marriage. When my dad was sick, I saw my mom go through it, like, proper. Like, she really, that lady went through so much. Seeing my dad sick, bedridden, you have to take care of your husband, at the most vulnerable time, of his life. He can't walk. He's just there. Like, I'm just trying to bring a picture of what you need to put in your mind when you're running to these things, that that this marriage will be great today, but tomorrow the tables might turn. So you have to be ready. So another reason why I think that marriage that you're in, and your other age bracket of 18 to 24 is not going anywhere, is because of economical reasons. Like, unless you are economical secure, all others things may be thrown out of balance, for sure. Like, most of these age brackets, they are depending on their parents for financial help. They are depending on other people to sustain a living. And even apart from that, like, these marriage responsibilities sometimes can hinder with your career. These marriages can put your career into complete jeopardy. It can lead to poverty. And even it becomes difficult when you decide to become a parent as a teenage mother. Girls, those small girls, I'm talking to you. It can become so difficult to raise your kids and focus on study. That time you have not matured so well to be able to make decisions for yourself. And due to that, this is going to lead you to financial difficulties and additional stress, and that is how your marriage will start collapsing. You know, we all know that poverty or financial hardships can easily strain personal relationships. So make your priority your career, your priority, and economical self dependency. So let's, like, as much as people do try to make it like love wins, you know, there's that saying like love wins, love is not about money and stuff. Okay, you will get into that relationship, Juliet and Romeo, but you have nothing to eat. You can't stay without food, you can't stay without eating. You know, it's not gonna work out like that. So there's no way you want to tell me that you will love someone and you'll build that poverty life with that. You are ready to be in that poverty life with your spouse and stuff. Of course you need to like build your life. You need to pay bills. You need to spend money on a few things here and there. You need to earn a living, and nothing is free, you know. You need clothing, you need shelter, basic needs, you need food. How are you going to get all of those? You have to work for them. You have to be earning to make a living. You have to be financially stable to make a living. So if you don't focus on more priorities, on most important things that will manage you to move from one step to another, it's gonna cause you like personal stress. You'll become stressful, you know. It will strain your personal relationship, it will strain your marriage, and your marriage will not last. Lastly, let's dwell on social factor as a reason why your marriage, you young lady, you young man, you're in a marriage and you are at the age bracket of 18 to 24. It's not working because of social factor. Because I feel like around this age bracket, most important factor in this relationship is just mutual attraction. However, the kind of satisfaction that one expects from the marriages is often not achieved at all. And basically, this marriage foundation is just set on immature emotions and wrong decisions. So it needs to stop.